Let's talk about a movie I was dreading watching, Mufasa, The Lion King. Honestly, the main reason I was dreading watching Mufasa, The Lion King is because I had no intention of really watching the quote unquote live action Lion King movie because it's ultimately an animated movie and I already have a masterpiece of a film in the original Lion King. So why would I watch that? And then this being more of the same. But what piqued my interest was Barry Jenkins as a director and Lin-Manuel Miranda doing the music for this film. And I can honestly say that you should never doubt Barry Jenkins as a director and filmmaker because he made Mufasa the Lion King something worth watching. I'm not going to say this is one of the best movies of the year or this is a movie that needs to be watched, but if you do decide to watch it, you are not going to be disappointed in the quality of the film that you're watching. Mufasa the Lion King is a prequel to The Lion King as tells the story about Mufasa, and it is has a really good story about brother bonds and the Shakespearean aspect of it all, the betrayal, the taking up the crown that Mufasa eventually does, and you see that build up done pretty decently in this film. I do feel like it is rushed to a point where some of the moments don't feel earned, but you do get to these really good emotional moments that really make up for it, especially when this classic score hits. You feel like you've just earned something. But that's my biggest complaint with the film is that it's a movie that is paced too quickly and then there's some unnecessary filler in this film. It's a movie done sort of like Princess Bride where there is Rafiki telling the story of Mufasa and they cut back and forth between the story that's happening and the current day. And it doesn't always work. It feels unnecessary. And I feel like they could have actually added more content and depth to the actual story. Having said that, it is still a fun adventure. There is some good character work here. Mufasa is always an interesting character to watch. Same thing with Scar. I don't know why they kept it a mystery in the movie. It's just kind of silly. But the standout of the film is definitely the visuals. It is a gorgeous looking movie. Like it does look like you're in the Sahara, and these animals feel living and breathing. You can see each muscle twitch and the weight of their bodies. And yeah, it can be off-putting if you're not used to it, but I think they did it in such a good way where I was involved in the story and I was not distracted by lifelike animals that aren't really there. The antagonist in this movie is impending and he's scary, and I do like his song in this movie. I think it's a highlight of the film. Speaking of the songs, I do think it isn't some of Lynn's best work, but it's decent music while you're watching the film. There's a good love song in here. There's that brother song that's been playing on TikTok, which I think is kind of cringe, but whatever. But the highlight is the Villain by song, and it's just done so. And overall, I don't think this is a phenomenal movie by any means, but what I was going into and what I got was a pretty solid movie that tells the origin of Mufasa, and it's done in a very interesting way. There were things that could have been improved on, but I feel like some of that stuff was because of studio interference and things that they needed to add. Not necessarily Barry Jenkins' fault, but if I had a chance to watch this movie again, I would watch it again. It's a fun watch.